Hello 7th grade in a new class for today. Today we are going to talk about grammar. This is comparative and superlative. In this class we are going to start with comparative. So be ready for our class. The outcomes of our lesson today, students should be able to know the kinds of the adjectives, recognize the use of comparative, know how to compare two different items, what are the exceptions of the rule, and know how to use as. Before talking about comparative and what do we mean about it, let's know what are the kinds of the adjectives. Adjectives are divided in two kinds, short adjectives and long adjectives. What do we mean about them? Short adjectives, the adjectives that have one syllable, or adjectives that have two syllables ending in y. Not all adjectives, but some of them. Long adjectives means the adjectives that have more than one syllable. Examples of them, short adjectives like big, tall, cold, old. All these adjectives are short because they have one syllable. But happy and easy have two syllables and end in y. Examples of long adjectives like difficult, careful, enjoyable. So these are long adjectives that have more than one or two syllables. Now, what do we mean about comparative? Comparative adjective, المقارنة. Comparative adjectives are used to compare one noun to another noun. So, when we talk about two things, we can compare them. We can see if they are the same or different. Perhaps they are the same in some ways and different in other ways. We can use comparative adjectives to describe the differences. So, we have two ways to make or to form a comparative adjective. Let's know these two ways. Now let's start with the first form of comparative. The first way to form a comparative adjective is to add er. Er with what? With a short adjective. Look at this example. My house, this is one item, is bigger than yours, your house. This is the second item. So here we have two items are being compared. And look at the adjective. This is bigger. We add er. Why? Excellent, because big is a short adjective and this is the first form of comparative, to add er with short adjective. And here we double the letter G because we have the vowel sound I. So this is the first form of comparative adjective or short adjective, then er and than. Look at example number 2. The earth is larger than the moon. Also here we have two items, the earth and the moon are being compared. Here we have the adjective large, larger. So this is a short adjective, so we add er with than. So in these two examples, we have two items are being compared with short adjectives which have er to compare them or to make or to form a comparative form adjective. Now, how can we form the long adjectives in comparative? Look at this example. Learning Japanese is more difficult than learning English. Long adjective means excellent. the adjectives that have more than one syllable. Look at this adjective, difficult. Difficult have 3 syllables, so this is a long adjective. Because this is a long adjective, we have to compare the 2 items by adding more with the long adjective. So this is more difficult. Why we use more here? Because we have long adjective, so we have to add more difficult than. Learning Japanese, this is the first item, is more difficult than learning English. Learning English is the second item. إذن هون قارنا شغلتين by adding more difficult. استخدمنا more because we have long adjective here. What do we mean about long? Have more than one syllable. My car is more beautiful than Mary's car. So, my car, the first item, Mary's car, the second item. We use more beautiful because beautiful have 3 syllables. This is a long adjective, so we have to put more beautiful than Mary's car. So this is the second way to form comparative adjectives. Now I want to talk about some exceptions of this rule. If we want to compare 2 items together and we want to use the adjectives of good, bad, far, and so on, we have a changing of this rule. Look here, this is an adjective, good. If we want to use it in comparative adjectives, we have to change good into better. Good, better. Bad, worse. Far, farther. So here, for these adjectives, we don't add er, but we change them into these comparative adjectives. Look at this example. This year, the weather is worse than last year. We don't say bad or badder or worse or something like this. No, it's wrong. The correct sentence is like this. This year, the weather is worse than last year. If we want to use good, this year, the weather is better than last year. So this is the exceptions of this rule. Now the second way in comparative. This is as. We use as plus adjective plus as to make comparisons when the things we are comparing are equal in some way. What do we mean about it? يعني the same height, the same size, the same price. We use as. Lily is as tall as her brother. So, Lily and her brother have the same height. إلهم نفس الطول. So, they are equal. So, we use as. This is the second form of comparative. If they are the same in height, in size, in price, in anything, we use as. The second one, the red shirt as expensive as the blue shirt. These 2 shirts have the same price. نفس السعر. إذا بنستخدم as. ما في إشي أغلى من الثاني. No, this is the same price. So we use as. So the second form of comparative is as adjective as that we use if we want to talk or to compare something that are the same, as we see here. Lily and her brother have the same height, the red shirt and the blue shirt have the same price. Okay, what if they are not the same and we want to use as? What is the form of it? Look at this example. Lily is not as tall as her brother. يعني Lily does not have the same height of her brother. ما إلهم نفس الطول. So we negate the sentence by adding not with the helping verb. Lily is not as tall as her brother. And this is like number 2, the red shirt is not as expensive as the blue shirt. Okay? يعني the red shirt is not ما إلهم the same price. ما إلهم نفس السعر. So this is if we want to talk about the items that aren't the same. Now let's do this exercise. The first one, we want to rewrite this sentence by using as. Arabic is easier than English. Arabic is easier than English. We want to write this sentence with as, and this sentence starts with English. English is hard, and they are not equal. So, English, excellent, is not as easy as Arabic. English is more difficult than Arabic. These are the ways that we can say and use in comparative adjective in this sentence. Number 2, the Pacific Ocean is what the Arctic Ocean, deep. Deep is excellent, a short adjective, so we add er. The Pacific Ocean is deeper than the Arctic Ocean. Number 3, you are what? Joy. Polite. Polite is long or short adjective. It doesn't end in the letter Y, so this is polite. Excellent. Long adjective, so you are more polite than Joy. You play tennis than I do. We have good. Remember the exception of the rule. Good, excellent. In comparative, we use better. You play tennis better than I do. Doing your homework is what playing. We have the adjective important. Important is excellent. Long adjective, so we use more important than playing. So we'll stop here, my students. In the next class, we are going to complete the structure. So please be ready.